Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We made it. The NFL season is finally here. It has arrived tonight. The Kansas City Chiefs kick things off. Former Super Bowl winners from last season. They take on the Detroit Lions at Arrowhead. It all counts. It all starts tonight. Cannot wait. What did you guys do to pass the time? I can't believe it's here. It's finally here. Were you guys a little crazy like myself and proceeded to count down the days from the hundreds, from the 90s? That's literally what I did. I mean, did you guys catch up on TV shows? Did you guys watch some baseball? I know a couple of you are still watching baseball as the Cubs are going, but wow. I can't believe we're here. The season is upon us. And welcome in to the Bear Necessities Podcast. I'm your host, John Presnowski. We're talking about all things Chicago Bears football, engaging conversations, detailed analysis, all things about the Bears. And before we get into today's show and give our season preview and overall season prediction, getting you guys ready for Bears Packers this upcoming Sunday, I want to take a moment and reflect for just a second. I want you to really think about something. Why do we root for the Bears? Why do we choose to put ourselves through this? I mean, let's be honest. It hasn't been easy being a Bears fan, being a fan of this team. It's work. It's a really hard relationship. So why do we do it? What are some realistic expectations for this year? Are you going to be okay if this team fails to win the division? Are you going to be okay if this team fails to get 7-8 wins? Is that considered a disappointment? I want to talk a little bit about that. Also, the obvious elephant in the room, Justin Fields. What does he need to do to prove himself this season to us and to the rest of the NFL world? What does he need to do to take that next step in year 3? And speaking of 3, I'm going to give you guys 3 bold takes I have for a couple players this season on the roster. Some of these takes you may or may not agree with. We're going to get you guys squared away with the Bears' overall season record prediction. I'm going to give my take on where I think this team will finish ultimately. And, of course, we're going to get you guys ready for Bears-Packers Week 1 this upcoming Sunday. But, again, let's rewind a little bit, and I want you guys to take a moment and reflect for just a second. And I want you guys to think about this. Why do we root for the Bears? Why do we root for this team? Why do we put ourselves through this? Let's be honest. Being a Bears fan past the 1985 season has been difficult, to say the least. We've been through terrible seasons, riddled with sloppy offense, multiple quarterback changes, and several front office changes and shuffles and new head coaches and new offensive coordinators, yada, yada, yada. We know it all. So why do we stick around? Why do we continue to hope for better days? Are better days finally here? Rooting for this team, in my opinion, brings this blue-collar city together. We may hate each other during the spring and the summer as Cubs and Sox fans are at each other's throats for the rivalry, for bragging rights, but once fall rolls around, like it is right now, that first week of September, everything seems right in the world again. We all want that one common goal, and that's for our beloved Bears to be relevant again and to be respected amongst the rest of the National Football League as one of the best. When the Bears are good, it's good for the league. This is the third largest market in the NFL. We have stellar TV ratings and a fan base that is loyal to the core. I don't know about you guys, but again, I've been patiently waiting to usher in that new era of Chicago Bears football for quite some time now. Everything that's been so great about being a Bears fan growing up, with family, with tradition, you know, it's ingrained in our DNA. It's ingrained in our blood that we bleed blue and orange. It's also a curse. I mean, this city still worships a team, and mind you, absolutely we should, but we worshiped a team from 37 years ago. That's a lifetime ago. The 1985 Bears should be remembered as the gods and legends that they are in this town. But we're so stuck in the past, and it's time to write new future. It's time to write new history in this town. We're stuck in the monsters of the Midway, claim to fame, the mantra that we're known for tough defense and great linebackers. It's 2023. This is an offensive modern day NFL league where moving the ball, scoring points, and having an elite quarterback are the only things that matter. It's time again to write new history in this town. And so many Bears fans are literally salivating, literally clinging onto the idea that the Bears finally have found their quarterback and better days are here. After decades of losing, can they finally break through and sustain success? Now that the bad man from up north, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, is gone, the NFC North is wide open. This should be a fascinating year ahead. I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds. I know you guys can't either. So let's dive right in. What are your realistic expectations for the Bears this season? How are you guys going to judge this team? Is it playoffs or bust? Is it to win the NFC North? Or is it simply just to improve on their 3-14 record last season? Will you guys be satisfied if this team only wins 6 wins? Is 7 too much to ask for? What about 8 wins? Could they achieve that? Are you okay if they don't win the division at all? Will you be okay if Detroit wins the NFC North or the Vikings? The Packers? I think this team is 1 year away from being a serious contender, but that doesn't mean that they still won't surprise some people around the league. I still think this team is very dynamic and has the ability to be extremely competitive in a lot of games this year. And it all starts with the quarterback position. And the big elephant in the room, and we haven't really talked about this on the previous Bare Necessities podcast episodes, but obviously we have to talk about this. What does Justin Fields have to do to prove himself this year? I mean, that's the big question, right? I mean, we all want the same goal. We all want Justin to be great. But how does he get there? How will this all unfold? I put a couple key points together, and it's obviously stating the obvious facts of what he needs to improve on. But it needs to be talked about. And it starts with his footwork. He's not a rookie anymore. I don't want to see a wide stance, pitter-patter in the pocket, waiting for the play to develop. I want good, crisp, clean footwork. And speaking of the pocket, it's time for Justin to step up in the pocket and deliver balls and deliver throws in a timely manner. And do it efficiently with a quick release. You see the great quarterbacks in this league, like Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Rodgers. It's a quick release. It's a snap, 1, 2, boom, release. We need to see Justin do more of that. We need to see him improve in that area. Another thing, again, this is year 3. Stop causing negative plays for your offense. Taking sacks, not protecting the football, that's not going to fly anymore. And finally, we saw it kind of develop in midseason last year. Confidence, confidence, confidence. When Justin is confident, everything else opens up. He's able to play loose, freely, and he's ready to play how we all know he's capable of playing. He has all the tools to be great. We know this. We know what he can do with his feet. He rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. We obviously know what an amazing athlete he is. That's great. But this year he has to show the ability to throw the ball down the field. No more excuses. No more excuses. We can't blame the head coach or the offensive line. We can't blame the front office for his woes. I mean, they finally put together a roster. They've given him weapons. They've improved the offensive line. This is all on him now, ladies and gentlemen. The opportunity is there. Will he seize it? Will he become a star in this town? Is he already considered a star in this town from what he did last year? I think Justin Fields is a very good player. I'm not ready to call him a star yet. We've never seen anyone like him at the Bears quarterback position. This is all new for us. We've never seen a guy perform like we saw Fields perform last year at that quarterback spot wearing this jersey. So I get it. It's exciting. It's exciting to watch him every Sunday, but I need to see more. All the great quarterbacks in this league, they have great arms. They have great throwing mechanics. They have great leadership. Better yet, their team wins, because of their play. Sure, they might have superstar wide receivers to throw to, but it feeds off of their performance, their leadership. They rally around their quarterback. They rally around their leader. That's what I want to see out of Justin this year. Not with his legs, but with his arm, I want the Bears to win games this year because of that. Creating plays down the field, using his athletic ability when he needs to, but throwing with accuracy and purpose, being a real quarterback in the NFL. That's what I want to see Justin Fields do this year. And I think he's beyond capable of that. But again, no more excuses for him this year. He's either going to show up or he's not going to show out at all. Where is he going to find himself? Some bold takes of mine, and a couple bold takes that some of you may or may not agree with. The first bold take I have of this upcoming season with the Bears, and it might surprise a couple of you, but Roschon Johnson, the 4th-round rookie running back out of the University of Texas, I believe will ultimately be the starting running back at the end of the season. Nothing against Khalil Herbert or Donta Foreman ahead of him, but there's just something about this kid. I just feel it in my gut that I really like. I loved his tape out of Texas. I loved what he's done in the preseason. I'm really interested to see how he's going to look running behind the first team offense, the first team offensive line. He hits the hole with purpose. He's a great at breaking tackles, running physical and aggressive, great vision. He doesn't have breakaway speed. He's not as fast as Herbert. He might not have enough power like Foreman, but I think he's a complete back. And I'm anticipating him being the starter for years to come. There's something about this franchise. There's something about this organization. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we develop really good running backs out of nowhere. Matt Forte, Anthony Thomas, Thomas Jones. You know, obviously we know about guys like Sayers and Peyton. Don't need to mention them. You know, there's so much evidence that this organization has really good running backs in its history, and I just have a hunch. I have a hunch about this kid that he's special, and he's ultimately going to be the guy in this offense at the end of the year. Speaking of the guy in this offense, I'm going to come right out and say it. I truly believe DJ Moore, there's no chance he doesn't make the Pro Bowl in his first year with the team. You saw his first play ever as a Bear in preseason. He took it to the house, 60 yards. I mean, the Bears have not had this type of dynamic wide receiver ever, in my opinion. He might not be as tall or physical as a Brandon Marshall or an Alshon Jeffrey, but when DJ Moore gets the ball in his hands, watch out, because he's special. It would not surprise me if DJ Moore catches 80, 90 catches this year for over 1,000 yards, 7, 8 touchdowns, something around that range. He's special. Get the ball to your playmaker. DJ Moore will be a Pro Bowler at the end of the season. And I'm going to stay in the wide receiver room, one of my last bold takes, and this might come to a surprise for a lot of you. I'm a big believer in him. I believe Chase Claypool will finish with more touchdown catches this season than Darnell Mooney. You know, I think a lot of defenses are going to focus a lot of their attention on Claypool. On DJ Moore. That opens up the slot. That opens up so many opportunities for Darnell Mooney. He might have more catches than Chase Claypool. He might have more receiving yards than Claypool. But I think Claypool physically is gifted. And as long as he develops some type of chemistry early on with Justin, the sky's the limit for this kid. And everyone's been so quick to write him off and be so negative about him and his work ethic this offseason. We have no idea what this guy goes through to get his body ready to play week in and week out in the NFL. I mean, who do we think we are? I understand we didn't see enough last year after the trade with the Steelers. I understand. And as of right now, yes, the Steelers are winning that trade. But this is the year that I expect Claypool to make a name for himself and to work himself into a new contract with the Bears. This kid has all the tools, all the intangibles to be a good receiver in this league. He doesn't need to be great, but a good receiver in this league. Watch for Chase Claypool to be the second leading touchdown scorer in this offense behind DJ Moore. Let's talk about the season entirely. Again, going back, do you guys expect this team to have 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins? Is that too much? I think the Bears are going to shock some people. I think the Bears make the wild card with 9 wins. I think they have a very favorable schedule this year, unlike last year when they had one of the top 5 hardest schedules. And that team finished 3-14, but that team with, excuse my French, a really shitty roster with hardly any depth at any position, they stay competitive in over half the games they played. They lost several one-score games last season. So if this improved roster, if this improved defense can just provide a few more stops to get off the field, this offense that we've been hyping up all summer has a chance to be extremely dynamic. This is the most dynamic offense we've seen in nearly 10 years. Guys like Matt Forte, Martellus Bennett, Alshon, Brandon Marshall. I mean, like, that's the last time this Bears offense has been this stacked on the offensive side of the ball. This team has weapons. And it's no secret, again, that this roster has been dramatically improved with DJ Moore, with linebacker Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. So, in my opinion, there's no reason why they can't compete for a division title. Will they win the division title? I'm not so sure. I think the Lions or the Vikings might edge them out with 10 wins, but Justin Fields, we talked a little bit about this just now. He is primed for that breakout season. We've all been hearing it and talking about it all summer. Very similar to what Jalen Hurts did last year, the Jalen Hurts model. This is year 3 for Fields. No more excuses. Can he elevate this team to new heights? Can he quiet the doubters, the haters, the non-believers? I see this team at 9 wins this season. There's momentum around this organization I haven't felt in a long time, for the first time in several years, but it's bigger than that. You feel it. You feel the buzz around the city. For a 3-14 team last year to where we are now, it feels good. It feels like a swift change of the air, a breath of fresh air. Something's got to give this year, and I feel good. I feel good about this team. I think they exceed expectations and surprise the NFL world this year with 9 wins. And finally, let's get to our Bears-Packers prediction for the first game of the year. And guys, I'm going to come right out and say a crazy stat. And I feel like a lot of people don't know this. I mean, they know that Green Bay has really dominated the rivalry for the past couple of years. But did you guys know that the Bears haven't beaten the Green Bay Packers since 2018, the year that they won the NFC North? The last year they won the NFC North. Let me repeat that again. The Bears have not beaten their bitter division rivals since 2018. That's 5 seasons ago. Green Bay has won 8 in a row. Let that sink in. How angry does that make you? How frustrated are you? Do you feel as embarrassed and just sick to your stomach as I do? Like, when is enough enough? When do we take back our pride? When do we remind folks that we're the Chicago fucking Bears? And this is the best rivalry in football. It really hasn't been a rivalry at all. When is enough enough? I think things change. I think everyone knows things are going to change on Sunday. So what are some expectations? Aaron Rodgers is no longer on that team. I mean, Jordan Love simply can't be the next great Packers quarterback, right? I mean, the baton can't just go from Favre to Rodgers and now to Jordan Love. Like, that simply isn't going to happen, right? Lord, please let that not happen. I don't know if I can handle it, literally. I've been through enough. We've all been through the ringer enough. How many times also did Aaron Rodgers pull something completely out of his ass to help that team win games over the years? Multiple games. Where do they turn to now for that veteran leadership? Do they turn to guys like Aaron Jones? Do they turn to David Bakhtiari? Where is that veteran leadership going to come from? They have a very young roster, young receiving core. Where is that going to come from now? Also, have the Bears done enough to close that talent gap? I think Green Bay has been so successful over the past couple seasons because they've put together better players, better depth. They've been set up for success by drafting well and developing their players, something the Bears haven't done a good job of over the last decade. Cody Whitehair and Eddie Jackson. Those are the only 2 remaining players on this current Bears roster who last beat Green Bay from that 2018 season. Nobody else is left. That's pretty telling. The Bears have to start developing this roster for the future, and they have to draft better, period. End of story. You want this team to win multiple division titles? It starts with developing your youth. It starts with developing through the draft and maintaining your players on this roster. The Bears have not done a good job of that. Will Ryan Poles and company fix that? Remains to be seen. Looks good so far, but we haven't seen anything yet. So what's going to be the deciding factor of Sunday's game? Can the Bears defense get stops? Can they slow down Jordan Love, Aaron Jones, and that Packers offense? Can they force pressure onto Jordan Love and make their quarterback uncomfortable? The Bears defensive line as a unit last year was the worst in the NFL at pressuring the quarterback. I'm really hoping Yannick Ngakoue and the rest of the defensive line, Justin Jones, DeMarcus Walker, I'm really hoping that they can get to Love, force some quarterback hits, get some pressure on the guy at least, please. That will be important. Aaron Jones also statistically, guys, has dominated the Bears in this rivalry. In 11 games, he has 116 carries for 516 yards and 9 touchdowns. The Bears have to slow Aaron Jones down. Guy, for whatever reason, always finds the end zone against us. We have to slow him down. And then on offense, let's flip the script here. Can Justin Fields get the ball out quickly to his playmakers? We've been talking about it all summer. Again, no more excuses. He has a number one receiver now. Get the ball to your playmakers. DJ Moore, Mooney, Claypool, your boy Cole Kmet. Get your playmakers the ball. And I think the first thing they have to do is establish the run. The Bears are one of the best rushing attacks last year in the NFL behind Herbert, Donta Foreman, and Roschon Johnson this upcoming Sunday. That three-headed running back monster, run the ball down their throats. Establish the run. It will open up the entire offense, open up the entire passing game. Start with the run, pound them on the ground, and then it's going to open up everything else for Fields and company. And finally, in my opinion, whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win this game. And for anyone hoping to see a complete blowout ass kicking of Green Bay, I think you guys are going to be a little disappointed. I just don't see it happening. Whoever wins this game is going to set the tone for the rest of the season, and the loser is going to have to hear overreactions for weeks on end. This is the most hyped Bears-Packers game I can remember in a long time. This is the first time the Bears have also been favored over Green Bay since that 2018 season. I think Justin's going to do enough, but he's going to need some more in the coming weeks, very similar to what he did last year. It took some time to get into rhythm the rest of the year. So, with that being said, my final prediction for Sunday's game, I have this game going down to the wire in an extremely close contest, less than a field goal. I have the Bears winning a nail-biter, 23-21, getting that first W of the season, their first win over their rivals in a long time, much-needed victory. We're going to need to see more from Justin. We're going to need to see more from that offense, but they're going to be able to do just enough to get that first W of the season. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I can't wait to get the season started. So much hype, so much anticipation for this one. This, again, has been the Bear Necessities Podcast. We will see you guys next week, hopefully after a W. So be good, be well, and don't forget to bear down.